music and all the fancy stuff. We've got important business to get down to. Welcome, everybody, to another YouTube Live / LinkedIn Live pre-bow tie up live countdown. Can you believe it's 30 days till April 20th?
I cannot.
Yeah, it's absolutely. And April 20th is a special day for me, as it is for quite a few of us. And so that's going to be the debut at 4:20 p.m. Eastern on April 20th. We're going to be debuting Bow Tie Up live on YouTube and on LinkedIn. So that's going to be really cool. But until then, we're committed to doing some lives every day for you guys to bring you some great information and help you ease into your transition into whatever this world's come to over the last week. So I'd like to introduce, Alex, do you want to tell everybody who you are and what you got going on?
Absolutely. Hello, everybody. For those of you who do not know me, remember me, or have met me before, my name is Alex McDowell. I am the owner and founder of A3 Innovation, as well as a partner at my friend's Real Impact Solution, who are bringing an incredible change by delivering automated processes to businesses. And right now we're really focusing on the financial sector as well as healthcare and education to really make life easier for them, save time, reduce expenses, and ultimately generate revenue with that. So thank you very much for having me, Lee, as always. And for everybody who has not had the absolute privilege of being on a Lee Rally Live before, I will make sure to shout out every single person who says hello in the comments. And when it is your first time commenting, I'll make sure to stop the show from these gents and say hello. So remember, drop a comment below. I'll stop the show and say hello. That's Alex.
You're absolutely amazing, Alex. I appreciate everything you do. Jeff, please introduce yourself.
Howdy, I'm Jeff. I'm a freelance writer with my own company, leadersedgemarketing.com or Leaders Edge Marketing. I'm not even going to try and follow up Alex's elevator pitch there. I have none. Just call me Jeff.
The man says he doesn't have an elevator pitch. He's owned multiple businesses. He's done everything under the sun. He grew weed in front of his college library, I think. So, wow. The man has got it going on. Don't let him fool you. This man's got stories galore. So we're gonna drag him out of them as these things go on. But appreciate having you both here. What I want to talk about today, because this has been coming up a lot, is this concept of how to communicate effectively with remote teams, right? And so managers, directors, even shift managers, are finding like they're having to work with remote employees now. And it can be baffling if you're not used to that environment and communicating in that style. How do you do that? How do you keep things cohesive? How do you keep everybody happy? When you suddenly have people who are working in different places and they're not used to it and you're not used to it. So,
well, if I can, I'll start you off there.
Yeah, please do.
With any kind of business, it's really no different. We had talked a little bit earlier and thought about it a bit, and it's really no different than running a business. Your employees are either in the same building, the same room, or they're in separate rooms or separate countries. But it really boils down to organization. And a good example with a service company that I had come in and work on our pool this past week. The guy, I hired a company to do the work. The guy had 3 different sub companies come in and do the work. And it's all about organization. And I think working when you have people that are helping you with your business, whether they be in various countries or in various states around the country or wherever, it just boils down to organization, knowing who does what and when you need to bring that person in or group of people in to do what it is that needs to be done. Really, it all boils down to organization and management.
Very good. Very good. Alex, what you got, my friend?
Yes, sir. So when it comes to communicating effectively with remote teams, one of the things that I feel like is most important is just staying in constant communication. As a team, it's very, very easy to feel like you're working alone on your own individual thing. My expertise comes in with web design and development. So on any project, we can have someone doing the SEO, someone doing the copy, some doing the design and the wireframing, and then someone, and then you have an entirely set project manager. So if you have a team of 5 people who are working on one project, how do you manage that effectively when you're all remote? And the answer that I've come to is keeping everyone on the project, I'll say it again, everyone in the loop. So if you are working on a project and you are working on a remote team, there is no such thing as too much communication because people need to be informed. If what you're doing is relying on another person, if another person knowing where the project is going to improve the type of work that they're able to do, then there is not a problem with CCing them on that email. Worst case scenario, they're just going to delete it and it'll go to their junk box. So making sure that you keep your team in the loop is going to be imperative to being successful. And also staying in that constant contact and constant communication. So outside of just seeing each other on your emails, maybe you have a meeting for 30 minutes every day over Zoom where you can just chat. I mean, it might be about your cat that keeps crawling onto your desk like Lee's does. It might be about your camera and how you need to get a new one. It might be about your favorite headphones that you're using to keep the noises of your kid screaming because he wants more food. But if you're not a new parent with a 10-month-old, such as myself, then, being in communication with people and taking that 30 minutes to really at least talk to people about what's going on with a project or with your organization, with your team, with your remote workforce is really going to be important for everybody being on the same page.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Excellent. Thank you, Alex.
Speaking of, got a certain monster who just came to say hello.
Oh,
This is
okay.
Mango.
There you go.
Say
Hello,
hello to
Mango.
Mango.
What's up, buddy?
Hey, Bub. You want to say
Man,
hello?
a surprise
hi.
guest on the show. This is awesome. Hi,
He
Mango.
pushed my door open. He has
There you
learned to
go.
push open doors, so if I don't actually lock my office door, I'm in trouble.
That's okay.
So-
He's welcome here anytime.
You're welcome. Did you hear that, Mang?
Yeah.
You're a surprise guest.
Hang out. Yeah, of course. Absolutely, man. That's awesome. So,
Hello,
so we've got.
Gotta stop the show to say hello. Sorry, gents. Matthew is saying thank you for saying hello, my friend. I hope that you are having a tremendous day.
Okay,
Sorry,
Matthews.
continue.
Yeah, no, I'm absolutely glad to see you
Go back
here.
to your
So
mother.
we've got organization, communication. The one thing that I really want to stress, and this could be very difficult for people to understand, is that if they're used to communicating verbally, that it can be very, very difficult to convey the right tone through writing. And I've seen over and over again, especially in the corporate world, when you're sitting. You get an email from someone who sounds like they're just a total a-hole, and then you get on the phone with them and they're the nicest person ever. And so this is something as when you're suddenly working with remote teams, you're going to see more written communication. And the videos, the check-ins, the Zooms are great, but there's going to be some more of text back and forth than you're used to, and it can be very easy to derail a project just simply because you're not aware of the tone that you're striking in your written communication.
No, absolutely. Sorry, I was just trying to actually create a little banner because we are going to update everyone's favorite CNN ticker with what we are talking about now. So I'm going to put myself on mute for about 15 seconds while I type. And Jeff, if you want to go over ways to manage tone when you're communicating and writing.
Yeah.
Yeah, my dog's and I got dogs. Let me mute that.
All right, it's down to me then, since I'm the only one with something not correct
There we go.
going in the background. Very cool.
Okay, so now I've got
had a
our ticker
defector.
updated.
Bye, Jeff.
See you, Jeff. Jeff's
you
dogs are
got
barking.
You did?
Yeah, managing your tone in written communication.
You did. Very good.
I did.
It was a little bit of a lag there. So absolutely. And so watch how other people write. I mean, it's you need to kind of meet them at their level, as I say, is their level, but one level more sophisticated. In other words, you're not, talking at them, but talking with them on a one-on-one communication, because it can be isolating and lonely to suddenly find yourself in a remote environment when you're
Yes.
used to working around people. I mean, I'm wired to not be around people. I like what's it, the physical, social distancing. That's what it is. Like, that's a lifestyle. I'm cool with that. No handshakes needed, just wave. But not everybody's like that. And that can be very stressful when you're suddenly cast into that environment and you're like, okay, look, I have to deal with it.
And to stop the show and say hello, Mr. Ken Wentworth. Hello, my friend. How are you? Hola, amigo. Hope you're having
what's
a
going
great
on?
day today.
Okay. I think you're here in Columbus, aren't you there, Ken?
We will know in about
I think,
20 seconds.
we'll know here in a minute.
Lag catches up.
All right. Very cool. Very cool. All right. So we've got tone, we've got organization, we've got continual communication. What else? Alex, you're the tech guy. So, how do you make all this easier from a tech standpoint?
Streamline your processes. I can't say that enough. Streamline and document your processes. When you're working from home, when you go back to the office, it will be a completely different environment. The biggest difference is just the way that you're going to be accomplishing things at home. You've got other things on your mind. So when you're sitting down to work, making sure you're in that routine and that you're in work mode, you might not be the most attentive. So having very clear process documentation for what you're actually going to be doing is going to be really important to making sure that you can successfully manage your workload at home and get things accomplished for yourself by knowing exactly what you're going to be doing with that clear process documentation. And then also just standardizing the way that you're doing it. I mean, when you're working from home, you might have the distraction of the vacuum cleaner running in the background or your dishwasher, your laundry going, but you still have the opportunity to really stop, breathe, and use your brain, as our good friend Lee says. And when you stop, breathe, and use your brain, you're able to think about, what steps are actually being accomplished and what that I'm doing. And when you know what you're doing and you're able to really standardize your processes and make things flow more succinctly and clearly. So, for example, instead of you creating your new documents just in Google Docs on a blank doc, maybe create a template. Maybe create a template that has a header image already so that you don't have to do that. Maybe create a template that's already got a table in there for invoices or for your project proposal, or just really leveraging ways that you can streamline and improve your processes as a whole as you have this time to really reflect, and expectations are going to be lowered because you're not going to be expected to be as productive. So that way, when you do get back to the office, or if you continue working from home, you know what you're doing because you've got that clear documentation and you've got it as quick and efficient as you can be because it's streamlined. And that's going to give you a great approach to be able to actually get all the work done in a day that you need to while managing all the distractions that come with working from home.
Very good. Jeff, I know you've had several businesses over the years, and you've got a lot of wisdom that you're translating into the online environment. So how do we make this easier from just a people perspective?
Well, I know with myself, when I first got into this a couple of years ago, one of my main problems has been organization and learning how to organize things. And quite honestly, I'm still learning. It's an ongoing process as you come across things. You need to learn how to organize, and that's what I'm trying to do. I become better at it, I think, and then I'm not so good at it. I mean, it's speaking for myself. It's I'm probably not a good example. For example, I didn't have my dogs locked in another room a few minutes ago.
Well, go ahead.
No, sorry. You can finish up, Lee.
Oh, I apologize. So, I mean, I think it's important to recognize that. I mean, like, you're not sitting here saying, what, I know everything there is to know about, organizing your business, and I'm going to tell you how to do things when my own life is in my own business is not organized. It's totally okay to do that. And that's something that's becoming fundamental to this shift that we're seeing in the business world is we're going to start relying on each other more and stop trying to be the damn hero all the time. because that's going to be the biggest shift, is this decentralization, this move from the guru style marketing and the guru style business to more of a lateral influence where we can all learn from each other and we don't have to pretend to be perfect, which is freaking exhausting anyway.
Yeah, I agree. It's Alex really nailed it initially when he brought up communication. It's really a must to communicate. The example I used a few minutes ago with this pool company coming in and doing the work, but having subs come in and actually do the actual work. He had 3 different companies involved, and on the owner's end, the person that I hired to do the work, he has an organizational problem, which when he and I meet on Wednesday so that he can get paid, I'm going to point out a couple of things to him. He had people, timing was off and things not getting done when he said they were going to get done, simply because he failed to communicate to a couple of the companies that he hired to do work. And then he failed to communicate to me what was going on, and I had to get hold of him to find out what's going on. So communication is really extraordinarily important in being able to work with people in different areas.
Absolutely, and it's important to know how they respond to communication too, because you can't assume that that your communication style is going to work for everybody. And again, to bring this back up, it's different when you've got somebody sitting in a remote environment than it is when you're sitting face to face across the desk, or you can walk over to the cubicle. It's just different, and you need to understand how the way you communicate comes across and how that affects, again, your employees' willingness to do their job, to really be invested in it, to follow directions, to not get distracted from the million and one things that they're not expecting to distract them because they're not used to working in a at-home environment.
So I think that's a tremendous point. And just so that everybody knows, we have updated everyone's favorite CNN style ticker down there at the bottom to how to communicate in a meaningful way. And I think that this is just one of the most important topics that we can really cover in regards to working from home, building a distributed workforce and working in a remote environment, because communication is so pivotal and so important when you're doing so. So, managing the tone of your emails is huge. And one of the examples of that I would give is just, using even things like smiley faces. I mean, what used to be 5 years ago incredibly unprofessional is now just a normal way of communicating and altering the overall tone, because the person on the other end of that email doesn't know if you're saying this sarcastically, if you're saying this with a smile, if you're saying it, when you're having the worst day in the world. I mean, they can't tell. So really being concise with your communication, but also being personal with it and really showing that you do care and that you do have a message to go along is important with communication. And I also think that another thing that really can make communication more meaningful is being more brief. Don't communicate on things that you don't need to communicate on. I mean, if there's an email that's sent to 5 people on a project team and somebody's already replied all saying thank you, we don't need 4 more reply all saying thank you.
Yes, exactly.
That's not communication. That's spamming my email.
Yeah, exactly. Every time you do that, you're taking someone's attention away from what they're supposed to be doing. So it's a very, very good point to end on, because I know you've got another commitment coming up in 5 minutes. So I want to do a quick round table. Everybody, 30 seconds, final thoughts. So Jeff, you want to start?
Boy.
Oh, boy.
Oh, no. There we go. Sorry,
all right.
Jeff.
There we go.
Don't hate Alex. I was trying to put you on big screen.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, the real takeaway here is I think with what's going in our world today, I don't see this working remotely going away. I think if anything, we're going to see more and more and more of it, which means there's an awful lot of people out there who own businesses who are really going to have to learn how to communicate better, both in written communication as well as verbal communication.
For sure. Absolutely. I totally agree. So, Alex?
Thank you, Jeff. for those wonderful final thoughts. So before I give mine, I want to give a very special shout out to Mr. Steve Long. Thank you very much for joining the show.
Hey, Steve.
It is tremendous to see you. And I saw that you popped in and said hello. So we were just stopping the show to say hello. My final thoughts when it comes to communication and working from home is very, very simple, which is just communicate. It is that simple. Communicate, 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 communicate. Say that 5 times fast in the morning. Say that 3 times before lunch and repeat that in your head until you actually fall asleep in the evening, because nothing is going to hold you back more than lack of communication. And if there's one thing that will single-handedly sink any project, ruin any workday, and cause you to really be inefficient when you're trying to manage working from home, it's a lack of communication. So communicate, communicate clearly, communicate effectively, communicate meaningfully, and communicate often. And you will turn out better than you ever imagined that it possibly could be. I'm Alex McDowell, and those are my final thoughts.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And Jeff and Alex, guys, you're wonderful. Thank you for being on the show. Go follow these guys if you're not already, because they're incredible. Again, my final thoughts, you guys have covered everything. So I'm just like, look, brevity is a big thing. Just people are trying to do work. So just keep it brief. We know you're bored, but good Lord, I don't need to hear it all day. So, that's a huge thing. Questions you guys have, put them in the chat. We can come back and answer them tomorrow. Again, I think we're going to do live streams every weekday until Bowtie app goes live. So plenty of time for us to help out, and we'll all navigate this thing together. So thank you guys again so much. Alex, we can find you at what's the website?
Oh, website. So I've got 2 of them that you want to keep in mind. There is realimpactsolution.com, and that's singular, realimpactsolution.com, because we only need one solution. We are the solution. Also you can find me at a3illc.com. Again, that's a3illc.com.
Right on. Well, I know you got to bounce, so thank you so much. Jeff, leadersedmarketing.com.
Yeah, best place to contact me, though, is probably on LinkedIn. That's where I spend most of my time.
Okay. Jeffrey, how is it? JD Jeffrey Adams. Yeah, well, you know what?
Jeff JD.
We'll see if we can put you in the comments here so people can get in touch with you. But of course, I can't do it while I'm talking. So, but anyway, we'll put it in there. Thank you so much. Go follow Jeff. And again, Jeff, thank you so much for joining me, and everybody who joined. Thank you for spending some time with us. Sorry we had to cut this one short, but we will see you again tomorrow at 4:20. Until then, be present and be well.